What would Nietzsche think of the Lord of the Rings? Would he tell Frodo, seize the ring and rule as the ultimate Übermensch? Or would he join the Council of Elrond in demanding its destruction? The meeting of Nietzsche's philosophy with Tolkien's world is a clash of two vastly different visions. In Nietzsche's view, good and evil are not eternal universal truths. They are human creations, born from struggles for power and shaped by whoever dominates the culture. In Tolkien's universe, however, morality is not invented by mortals. It is woven into the very fabric of the world by the Creator and reflected in a cosmic order where some forces, like the ring, are inherently corrupting. Here, good and evil exist as objective realities, not just shifting social constructs. Join me as we deep dive into this thought experiment and apply Nietzsche's philosophy to the Tolkien universe. At first glance, Nietzsche, the philosopher who celebrated the will to power, the rejection of herd morality, and the creation of one's own values, might see Frodo's quest to destroy the ring as puzzling, even wasteful. Why surrender the greatest source of strength in Middle-earth instead of wielding it to reshape the world? The ring offers a chance to break free from what he called slave morality, the meek, self-denying values of the many that restrain the greatness of the few. In this light, casting the ring into the fire is not an act of courage, but of self-denial, the refusal to claim one's rightful place above the masses. But Middle-earth isn't our world. Its moral fabric is woven differently, not by human nature alone, but by the designs of a creator figure and by a cosmic struggle where certain powers are inherently corrupting. In this world, the ring is not merely a tool awaiting the will of a strong bearer. It is an active agent of domination, a fragment of Sauron's own malice. Here, the will to power doesn't elevate, it ensnares. This changes the entire game. Nietzsche would take this into consideration. If a tool inevitably robs you of your freedom and turns you into what you despise, it's no longer an instrument of strength. It's the ultimate chain. In Middle-earth, to keep the ring is not to master it, but to be mastered by it. This creates a fascinating clash. Nietzsche's Übermensch thrives in a cosmos without fixed moral laws, forging values from within. But in Middle-earth, morality isn't something you invent. It's something you either align with or fall against. Here, the will to power may not mean seizing the ring at all. It might mean refusing it, not because of obedience to herd morality, but because true self-overcoming requires resisting the temptation to dominate. In Tolkien's world, strength is measured not by how much you can control, but by how much you can refuse. If we translate Nietzsche's idea into Tolkien's moral universe, the Übermensch wouldn't be the one who dares to wield the ring. They'd be the ones strong enough to walk away from it. In this version, greatness comes not from bending the world to your will, but from mastering the will itself. Frodo's strength isn't in domination, but in endurance. Sam's isn't in power, but in loyalty. Aragorn's isn't in ruling, but in accepting the crown only when the time is right. In Middle-earth, the highest form of self-overcoming might look less like a conqueror and more like a guardian, someone who shapes the world not by force, but by restraint. Nietzsche, reading The Lord of the Rings, might still find it strange that so much heroism hinges on self-denial rather than self-assertion. Yet, he might respect it as a different form of victory, not the triumph of the ruler, but the triumph over temptation. He would likely admire the way the quest refuses to glorify blind obedience or empty moralizing. Frodo and Sam's journey is not about following rules, but about enduring hardship for a purpose they choose. In this sense, the destruction of the ring becomes less a rejection of power itself and more an act of power over the self. In Middle-earth, Nietzsche's highest praise might not go to Frodo alone. Aragorn, with his refusal to seize the throne until the right moment, would embody the leader who commands not because he must, but because he chooses. Samwise, who asks for nothing yet carries the fate of the world when Frodo falters, might surprise Nietzsche as the truest self-overcomer. And even Gandalf, who repeatedly rejects the ring despite knowing its potential, could be seen as a rare figure who understands that some power destroys the very greatness it promises. For Nietzsche, these are not mere moral saints. They are masters of themselves, the kind of strength he valued most, even if it takes a different form in Tolkien's world. Nietzsche would never simply transplant his real-world philosophy into Middle-earth unchanged. He'd read the map, test the rules and adapt. And once he understood that the ring annihilates the very will to power it promises, he'd join Frodo in the march to Mount Doom. In Tolkien's world, the true Ubermensch is not the one who grasps the ring, but the one who dares to throw it away. I really enjoyed diving down in this thought experiment, and I'm curious to hear your comments and perspectives about the topic. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe for more.